Have you ever stopped to think about how your favorite game keeps track of everything in your inventory? Or, how a social media app handles your massive friend list? Well, it all boils down to how they organize data. And honestly, a great way to think about it is like a restaurant menu. Every programming language has its own special way of serving up information. So let's pull up a chair and check out Python's special data menu. Right, so here are the four main courses on Python's menu. You've got lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. And each one has its own, let's call them special properties. You can see a list is ordered, it's changeable, and it's totally cool with duplicate items. A tuple is pretty similar, but here's the kicker. It's unchangeable. Once you make it, it's locked in for good. We'll get to the others another time, because today we are absolutely ordering the most popular and versatile dish on the menu, the list. So first off, what even is a collection? Just imagine a set of lockers, right? They're a place to store your stuff, or in our case, our data. But look closely. You can see two different kinds of lockers here. Some are numbered, and that is exactly how lists work. Others have names on them, which, by the way, is a little sneak peek of how dictionaries work. That simple difference in how you get to your data, it's absolutely crucial. Okay, let's really focus in on today's special, the Python list. I'm not kidding, this is by far one of the most common and flexible data collections you will ever use. Think of it as like the trusty burger and fries of the programming world. You're going to see it everywhere, and trust me, it's for a very good reason. Ordering up a list couldn't be easier. You just use square brackets. And inside, you can put pretty much whatever you want. Strings of text, numbers, you name it. Just make sure they're separated by commas. So something like apple, banana, cherry gives you a list with 3 fruits. The key thing to remember with lists is that the specific order you put them in really, really matters. Now, one of the most important things about a list is that it's mutable. That might sound like a fancy technical word, but it just means it's changeable. Think of it like this. Being mutable means that after you've placed your food order, you can still call the waiter back and say, "Hey, can I change that?" With lists, you can absolutely add, remove, or change items after the list has already been made. Okay, so you've got your list, but what if you only want to look at one specific thing? You don't want the whole fruit salad, you just want the apple. This is where indexing and slicing come into play. These are basically our tools for inspecting the individual ingredients of our data dish. All right, listen up, because this is probably the single most important rule of indexing. In programming, we don't start counting from 1. We always start from 0. Think of your list like this train. The first car, the apple, is at position 0. The second car, the pear, is at position 1, and so on. Seriously, remembering that lists start at 0 is going to save you so many headaches down the road. Let's see this thing in action. So on the left, we've got a list of colors. The code is asking for the item at index 1. Okay, so following our 0-based rule, the first item, red, is at index 0. That means the item at index 1 has to be orange. And yep, as you can see, that is exactly what the code draws on the right. Simple as that. Okay, time for a quick pop quiz. Looking at this list here, what value do you think you'd get if you asked for app.colors at index 2? Just remember to count from 0. Got it? It's yellow, because index 0 is red, index 1 is orange, which makes index 2 yellow. See? You got this. Awesome. And hey, here's a really neat trick. What if you don't know how long the list is, but you always need to grab the very last item? Well, you can use negative numbers. Index -1 will always give you the last item, -2 will give you the second to last, and it just keeps going. This is incredibly useful, you'll see. Now, what if you want a whole range of items, kind of like a sampler platter from your list? Well, that's called slicing. You just give it a start index and an end index, separated by a colon. The one little tricky part to remember is that a slice like 2, 5 gives you the items from index 2 up to but not including index 5. And if you leave off that end number, like 2/, it just says, "Hey, give me everything from here to the very end of the list." Okay, remember how we said lists were mutable or changeable? Well, let's see how that actually works. We can make these special requests using tools called methods. Think of them as built-in commands that let us modify our list whenever we want. So the most common change you're probably going to make is just adding something to your list. And for that, we use the .append method. It is super straightforward. It just takes the new item and tacks it right onto the very end. It's like asking to add a cherry on top of your dessert. And what about removing an ingredient? Well, for that, we can use the .pop method. By default, if you just call .pop without any extra info, it just removes the very last item from the list. It's like telling the waiter, you know what, I've had enough, you can take that last piece away. But pop is actually even more powerful than that. You can tell it exactly which item to remove by just giving it the index number. So, for example, to get rid of the first item in the list, you would just use pop of 0. This gives you some really precise control to customize your list exactly how you want it. Okay, so we've gone through creating lists, getting items out of them, and even changing them on the fly. Let's just take a step back and wrap this all up. What does this all mean for you as a programmer? Why does any of this matter? So here's the bottom line. Collections let us handle big groups of data super easily. And Python lists are going to be your go-to tool for any ordered collection that might need to change later. You make them with square brackets, you use that zero-based indexing to get single items, you slice them to get a range of items, and then you use methods like append and pop to change them. That's really the core of it right there. A list is truly the versatile workhorse of Python. I mean, from a simple to-do list app to managing all the enemies in a crazy video game, lists are absolutely everywhere. So, now that you know the fundamentals of how to order one up from the menu and customize it exactly to your liking, the only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?